Hello and welcome to the morning after show presented by betonline.ag. My name is Joshua Reimer. I'm joined by none other than Jared Block, who is over on my right. Jared, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain. Today is my Monday, so I'm coming in. But it doesn't feel like a Monday because I've been working for like the last 3 weeks straight, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter here. But yeah, a Wednesday in January. It's snowing outside right now. Hopefully, a lot of you guys are not experiencing this.
Yeah, I think I experience that tomorrow is when I get my snow. I'd have to go double check and look, but I think we get a little bit of snow tomorrow. So I'll be in your company tomorrow at the very least. Oh yeah, 90% chance of snow tomorrow. So definitely going to be snowing. That'll be very interesting in the South because we know how that is usually handled. But yeah, it's a Wednesday show, so not a ton to talk about, but there definitely are some things that we get to touch on in the sports world, and I'm excited to do so. So, without further ado, if you're ready, we can start talking about some things going on around all sports.
Yeah, got a lot of different topics today because frankly, there's not much going on. But I'm sure we'll find something to talk about.
We always do. We always find a way to fill that hour, and I wouldn't be surprised today was any different. So let's start off with the first topic that we are talking about with Deuce talking about sophomore Deuce Vaughn. He rushed for 146 yards and four total touchdowns to lead Kansas State to victory over LSU. That LSU team was down bad from what I saw. I did not get to watch this game, but I did see that LSU was playing a wide receiver at quarterback, if I remember correctly, or
Yep.
something along those lines.
Essentially. I don't know the full story behind that because, frankly, I haven't paid attention to LSU. All I was looking for was what Deuce Vaughn was going to do in this game because, frankly, I think that he, while not eligible for the NFL draft yet, could be a first round guy in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the upside. He's a great runner. He's a great catcher. He kind of has everything. So I know there was plenty of times that I rostered him this year, and it's just because he's so dynamic when he is on the field. So definitely an exciting start for him against LSU, and definitely a solid spot to do it in a bowl game as well.
Yeah, that's. I almost forgot that this game was on, but again, I wanted to just watch what he was going to do. So cool to see that on a random Tuesday night. But now we only have one more bowl game left, and it is the national championship. College football
That's
season's
crazy.
almost over.
That's so sad that it's almost over. My most profitable season, and it's almost over. That is really sad. So, definitely excited for that game. That comes in 5 days, I think. It's next Tuesdays or next Monday is
Next
when that
Monday.
game is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely going to be a fun game to watch. Let's talk about some other things going on around college football. We also know that Cincinnati's Ahmad Gardner is to forego his senior season, head to the draft, and now you have the Cincy quarterbacks that were kind of the staple of this defense. They talked about him a ton when they were in that game with Alabama, and it's going to be interesting to see where these guys go because I know you talked about it. They could really make a difference at the NFL level.
Yeah, they could, and that's really the only. I'm not gonna say only bright side, but that was really one of the only things that they were able to talk about from the Cincinnati team the other day, which is sad because they do have a good squad, but these two cornerbacks do stand out, and I think I do think that they at least well both of them will be drafted, but I think both of them have a chance to go first and second round, if not both in the first. But I think that it's a little bit of a stretch to say they'll both go in the first round.
Yeah, probably is a little bit of a stretch. I could see, like you said, first and second round probably is where they fall. Um, I'm curious what teams will get them because I'm sure there'll be guys that are relied on from the beginning. I would not be surprised to see both of them be starters even in their rookie year. So, going to be interesting to see what happens with both of them. OU lost another wide receiver as Mario Williams enters the transfer portal. But why do you need Mario Williams when you have uh, Marvin Mims and you have Jackson Smith and Jigba too? So, or no, am I thinking of the wrong team here?
Yep,
But
you are.
oh, look at that! It's early in the morning. Um, But yeah, OU loses another wide receiver with Mario Williams. This team has lost a lot of guys, right?
They've lost a lot of guys. Some things are coming back to them a little bit. They do get what's his name? Dylan Gabriel announced that he's going to be transferring from USCLA to Oklahoma, kind of the backwards from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. So that's interesting to see. Um, with that being said, I think that there's going to be some sort of a rebuild, even though Oklahoma should be okay. Just from I don't know. I mean, their legacy's hurt, I guess, a little bit, but like, I still think it's a football city, a football town, and they'll find a way to get recruits there. So I don't think that's an issue. It might be a down year a little bit, but yeah, they're losing a lot of guys due to couple going to the draft, obviously the coaching change. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't think that they might have it down here a little bit, but I guess the main thing here for me would be watch for this Oklahoma team to be a nice futures bet for next year because I think that most books will be undervaluing them a ton.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that. Man, I like Dylan Gabriel. I don't know about you, but I'm actually a fan of Dylan Gabriel. My question for you though, where does Caleb Williams go? Because we're now seeing reports that he could be going to Georgia. That would be deadly if he had ended up going to Georgia next year. But uh, he kind of has his pick of where he can go, and I'm definitely interested to see where he does go.
Is Marvin Mims Denzel's brother? Is that a relation?
I don't know 100%. I'd be talking out of my ass if I said yes. I have no clue. Well, we could definitely look it up though and see.
Apparently he has three brothers. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd have to look it up more. Marvin Mims is the brother of Denzel Mims.
Okay,
Yes, there you go. So,
cool.
yeah, definitely something there. Um, Marvin Mims definitely a solid piece for them, and hopefully Dylan Gabriel can utilize him correctly. Anything else that we want to talk about with college football here?
No, just the fact that Denzel Mims made the show after being irrelevant all season.
I think that's the first time we mentioned Denzel Mims on a morning after
Yeah,
show, and
it's not good.
it's been a while, man. We've had quite a few shows, so first time we mentioned Denzel Mims, definitely interesting. Last thing to talk about with college football, the playoff committee is to focus on format, not a lopsided semis, like we had this year. So uh, at least something interesting that they said that they want to focus on the format of everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the lopsided stuff, and I know a lot of people aren't. All I wanted to see was competitive games the entire weekend, and we got nothing. Also, we didn't touch on this because I know we had a lot of stuff going on last week, but um, several people, like big accounts on Twitter, were just like the whole like there was something that was going viral on Twitter Friday night during the Michigan Georgia game where they were saying like people were canceling their plans left and right to watch this game instead of going out and doing New Year's, and you were tremendously disappointed
Oh,
with the outcome of that. So, I
yeah,
mean, I would have been as well if I would have made plans, but yeah, one of those things.
yeah, that's insane. Yeah, it definitely would have ruined your plans if you had any that night. All right, let's stop talking about college football. Let's talk about a little bit of the NFL because, like we mentioned yesterday, Washington football team is going to be announcing their name change on February 2nd. I'm seeing here that internet sources are saying the Admirals might be best. I saw a TikTok prediction thing saying that it's going to definitely be the Generals. I guess if it is
No one knows.
no one knows for sure, but if it is the Washington Admirals, I don't think that's too shabby. I actually think that that kind of fits pretty well.
Yeah, I still think the football team is the best, but that's
Yeah,
me. Maybe I'm just used to it now. But yeah, a lot of things on the internet are saying that the Admirals are the team. And that's been quoted from a few sources now. Obviously, do your own research here, and it's better to just wait anyway. But like a lot of verified accounts are tweeting football team is the Admirals this morning. So There's gonna be some pushback regardless of what happens. I do think it's a step in the right direction, but I would have liked the football team a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being like if they wanted to stand out and make a brand for themselves, that was the chance to do it. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, it certainly was. You're definitely right there. Man, they still don't. Bet Online still doesn't have it up, but they do have odds on what Ben Roethlisberger's next job is going to be. TV football analyst at -150, podcast host at +300, reality TV contestant at +400, and retires to play in the NFL at +750, and then NFL coach and college coach at +1200 and +1600 respectively. Um, yeah, those are some interesting odds for Ben Roethlisberger's next job.
Right. I think it's pretty clear that yeah, I don't know. I think that I have nothing to say about that. Never
Yeah,
mind.
not, I don't have much to say either. It is a Wednesday. But yeah, definitely interesting. We got the news yesterday that the Packers and Cowboys are going to play in Week 18, despite the fact that they cannot improve their playoff chances. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, you see everyone go back and forth on it year after year. Is it good that you played in Week 18 that way so you stay consistent, or do you give your players a break? Like, what side do you lean on?
I lean on the side of, well, just being a biased fan. The Packers historically are not good when they get the bye week. They have come out in several years, mainly the one where they went 15-1 and then they lost to the Giants after the bye week. So that's the year the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. And since then, and Packer fans have been very, very adamant about that whole thing. There was talk about Jordan Love starting initially, but Matt LaFleur stated that they're going to start their guys. So, yeah, I think they're all going to play, probably play 3 quarters. It's one of those things where, like, because you have the 1 seed locked up, if you have the 1 seed, it's a different story, I think. Some teams can bounce back faster than others, but if I'm just speaking generally about every team, I would prefer that they would play at least some of the game and not take 3 weeks off.
Dude, I have to say this comment because I think this is quite possibly not only the best username I've ever seen on the Twitch stream, but also one of the best comments I've ever seen on the Twitch stream. Shout out to Fat Man Scoop, No Brooklyn Clan for subbing at a tier 1 sub. And this is the first time they've ever chatted. So, first time you knock it out of the park, man. First of all, he calls us handsome devils. I appreciate it. Then it said Washington should double down and stop being puss pops. The Washington. Oh, that's not good. He also said Big Ben's next job will be the 2023 Nathan's Hot Dog Champ. I almost anchored man there, but that was definitely close. I like the comment about Big Ben more than anything.
Yeah, that's good. I think that he's going to be a guy that disappears into the abyss. So yeah, I think that Big Ben not going to be a guy that's commentator. Uh, I I would be shocked if he was. I think that he's just going to be a guy that goes off and spends time with his family because he's been doing this for what 18 years now. I think is what they said. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. Gusti also said that the Cleveland changed their name to the Guardians. Maybe they should be the Washington Guardrails.
Jeez. Lord
Uh,
Almighty.
by the way, we weren't gonna cover this today, but Jalen Hurts apparently sent a memo to Washington's PR team asking for some sort of explanation on the guardrail collapse thing that almost injured him.
Yes. Okay. So thank goodness I finally saw this. I don't remember where I saw it yesterday, but I finally saw what you were talking about because I didn't look it up right after the stream. And like what in the world happened there? Like that's just an insane thing that the guardrail just absolutely it just goes off and you see all those fans fall. Hopefully everyone's okay, man.
That was
But
a
at the
wild sight.
Yeah, it definitely was a wild sight. I feel like it would have got a lot more attention if Antonio Brown wasn't the main topic on Sunday. Speaking of Antonio Brown being the main topic, we found out that he's to be examined by a surgeon outside of the Bucks organization. You said here things get juicy. Explain this to me because I didn't see this news yet.
Yeah, so they've been, doctors outside of the team haven't like they're not allowed to unless the team gives them clearance, they're not allowed to do anything. without the team's permission. So throughout the whole entire year, players are not able to visit any doctors outside of their own team doctors, and they, I guess, were consistently uh, telling Brown that he's cleared to play, even though some of the injuries he's sustained have not enabled him to play at his highest level, and that he's actually hurt, which is why the whole reaction on Sunday compared to what actually seemed to happen was completely opposite. And now Brown, being the guy that he is, made it way, way worse than it needed to be. But apparently, team doctors gave him the go. He didn't want to be out there. And then Bruce Arians was talking about how if he didn't want to play, then he might as well not be on the team, etc. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's not going to be a good look when apparently they've already started to give reports out that Antonio Brown actually has some serious injuries.
Yeah, and then you see, yeah, it's not going to be good news for Bruce Arians if that is the case. And it's almost like you said on Monday, like we shouldn't have been so ready to fully put the focus on Antonio Brown here. Felt like something fishy was up, and it definitely could be. Last thing to talk about from the NFL world, Titans start window for Derrick Henry's return is coming up. They said they could play him in the last week. They said that he'd be good for playoffs. This does change this team and makes them. I don't know. Does Derrick Henry returning make them a rightful one seed if they keep this spot?
I think that, man, yeah, I think so, and that's kind of why I've been rooting for the Colts to win the division because I don't want to see Derrick Henry in the Super Bowl, and I think
Yeah,
that's where this is kind of starting to head a little bit now. I don't know if they can get there without Julio Jones. Maybe I don't think he's like let's can we like talk about the fact that the entire country was talking about how the Titans were going to be the best team in the league with Julio Jones, and now they're the best team in the AFC without him. So
yeah.
it's kind of strange how that played out. By the way, I think I know who Fat Man Scoop is. Pretty
Who
sure they
is
just gave themselves away.
who is it? I have
I'm
no
pr-
clue who it is.
I have one guess, maybe two, but I'm pretty sure it's one, and think that it's I think that it's Kyle.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that it was Kyle, if anyone, just because I saw the New York reference. But hey,
Not many
well,
people will recite the exact office quotes to me. So
yeah, there you go. So it probably is Kyle. Yeah, I mean this Titans seems scary with Derrick Henry, and it is funny that like without Julio Jones doing much this year, he was still able to this team was still able to dominate. I don't know what to think about the Titans right now. I still think they're kind of fraudy up at the top seed. I don't know if they're Super Bowl bound necessarily, even with Derrick Henry back. I guess it all depends on what Derrick Henry looks like, because we know Derrick Henry during the winter is a man possessed for sure.
yeah, weirdest team in the NFL by far. I don't even think
Ooh,
that's a stretch. Um,
if they're the one seed, that means I get a good playoff game near me. Man,
yeah,
I might have to go to a playoff game. I've never been
I'm
to an NFL.
looking at conference futures. I mean, they have the Chiefs at the favorite. Titans are plus 425, which is good for third best. So yeah, I mean, if they hold on to I'm pretty sure they have a pretty easy last game.
Uh,
Yeah, they play Houston, so
oh wow.
they
So
probably will get the one seed.
So why are the odds like that then? That makes no sense. Or is that
Yeah, I
for
don't know.
like winning the
Oh,
whole?
like conference, yeah.
Gotcha. It's not for being like the first seed. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. And if that team's the one seed, I mean, they have home field advantage all the way through. So it'd be interesting to see them face off against the Chiefs in the playoffs or against one of those top dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Are we talking about the NFL slate info at all today? We probably will on Friday because there are two games on Saturday, so we'll cover those then. Um, Bacon says, random question, did you two know each other before working for our... I don't know if
No,
he's referring to me and Kyle or me and you. Either
no,
way, the answer is no.
no.
So, no. Josh and I met each other for the first time in November.
In November. Oh yeah, yes, in November. I thought you were
You're like,
saying.
wait a minute.
I thought you were saying like overall that was the first time we met. I was like, no, we not. No, it wasn't.
No,
We met.
I mean that's like 2017 or something.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago. But all right, enough of talking about the NFL. Let's talk about what everyone wants us to talk about. Kyrie's return in the NBA. Possible return tonight. Game in Indiana. Uh, I don't know what to think about this, man. I am just happy I'm not on an NBA slate tonight.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not happy about it, but
I can imagine, dude. Kyrie Irving returning for this Brooklyn Nets team. This Brooklyn Nets team is still in the 2 seed, right, in the Eastern Conference, with the Bulls
yep.
still with being number one. What are your thoughts on Kyrie Irving returning?
Yeah, again, I was hoping that they would lose the other. Well, they did lose the other night. I was hoping they would win the other night to lose tonight and then blame it on Kyrie, and then have this whole thing go into another spiral. But maybe they're testing something out tonight. Maybe they're having him play 15 minutes. Like, will he
Um,
accept that role? I don't know. Um, he's like apparently he's been working in college gyms, high school gyms. It's not the same thing as an actual NBA game, so I'm interested to see what he like. He hasn't been able to practice with his own team. I don't know what they're going to do here. They get a good shot against the Pacers, who frankly don't have anybody playing. So I mean, it's kind of a free scrimmage for him. But it doesn't make sense because they have this away game and then they don't play on the road until later next or earlier next week, where they do go on a little bit of an away stretch, but they have a lot of home games over the next couple of weeks. So I'm not sure what the whole idea of this would be.
yeah, I guess just get him in the gym and then just yeah, I guess you just gotta wait and see after that because, like you said, he's not playing in any home games. So
Like, how do you do this with him? Like, he can't travel with you from like I don't think he can board team buses or planes in New York. Like, they're just gonna have to meet him somewhere.
yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like it's less of a we really want you for our team and more of a let's showcase you and remind the league that you're still trade bait and you
Yeah.
should still be worth something to another team. I feel like that's the case here. Don't think it really makes sense to have a player just play away games.
It's really weird. I could actually, well, they won't trade Brogdon, but like, I don't know. I could see some Pacers going back to the Nets here.
That would be a sick trade, straight up. Irving for Brogdon and just call it a day. But speaking of this Nets and Pacers game, Nets 8 point favorites according to our friends over at BetOnline.ag. Over under set at 225. So BetOnline certainly thinks the Nets run away with this. I would be surprised if the Nets were. I think the Nets are going to get a double digit win here.
Yeah, 8 point spread. The Pacers are already down Levert, and we saw. Oh, dude, talk about a major disappointment last night. We didn't even talk about that. The Pacers completely just imploded yesterday. I think everybody missed value outside of maybe one guy.
Yeah, that's insane. It's that Pacers team was very interesting on the last night's slate. Um, but yeah, definitely interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Kyrie returns. It's going to be interesting to see how the whole team looks together. Kyle here says that they have a new mayor in NY, and he thinks that the indoor mandate will get lifted by month's end. So if that's the case, things go back to normal. Maybe Kyrie gets a little bit more playing time with this system.
That would really be interesting.
Yeah,
That's all I have to say there.
it certainly
Because
would be interesting.
honestly, I think that Brooklyn's better without him, and I think that they create a ton more drama with him. So I don't think this is over yet.
Yes, for sure. All right, let's talk about Butler sitting out against Portland. Nobody expected to play for Portland. Poor Portland, man. I feel like Portland is a team that we give the most shit on this show, at least in the
Yeah,
NBA. We really give it to the Portland Trailblazers, and I feel like we always do. But what are your thoughts here?
I like Portland. That's the problem. And I
Yeah,
just think that they are completely imploding their team right now. Uh, some bad luck associated with that. They're only 1 point dogs though right now against Miami. That's saying a lot. Also, like yeah, Dame, CJ, not expected to play. I don't know if Nurk is either, but I know that they'll probably just have Norman Powell and Anthony Simons. Larry Nance was the guy that is doubtful also, so I don't think
Jeez.
that they really have anybody to play tonight.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys that they usually would have playing big minutes and that are not going to be able to play big minutes today. I kind of hate you for this one, but Russ's zero turnover game is a record setter. I don't know the last time we saw Russell Westbrook have zero turnovers. I'm curious to see if you know the last time we saw Westbrook have zero turnovers.
Uh, what did you say? The last time he didn't have one?
Yeah, the last time he didn't have a turnover in a game.
Oh, it was 407 games in a row.
Oh
So
my God. That's just
uh, apparently
ridiculous.
he broke a record that hasn't been something since like he's held the record for a while. But apparently the last worst record or whatever it was from 1977 or something. So
Yep.
count 400 and something 7 games, and I was trying to do comparisons, but honestly, like trying to compare anything to 407 games is a lot. So um, it's been
That's
at
five
least
regular.
five
That's
plus seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's five regular seasons essentially. Like that is a
yeah,
stupid amount of time, and that's not even mentioning all the injuries he's gone through and stuff.
yep,
So it's
yep.
probably longer than 5 seasons. It's quite a while. So Westbrook zero turnovers last night. Hey, you see what this team does when he doesn't turn over the ball because it was a good win for the Lakers last night.
Yeah, it was, and I think LeBron broke another record last night for being like the oldest player to hit 35 plus points a bunch of times. I don't know, something like that. So he's just rewritten in the record books at this point. So the more that we say about LeBron, he's probably just going to break these own records anyway.
Yeah, you know we will probably the year and year after. Blake Monk, really good game. I know Sean ended up playing him, so it was a good call there. I think the thing that surprised everyone was Dwight Howard actually getting playing time here and played 22 minutes, was very efficient, 14 rebounds, 14 points, put up a double double in limited time, and that's a big reason why this Laker team was able to get the dub.
Yep. Also, half the field played Damian Jones at center yesterday on FanDuel. Almost saw 30 minutes. Finished the night. I mean, he did his job. It wasn't a crushing game. Um, will be interesting to see moving forward what they do here. They also gave Marvin Bagley 24 minutes too, which good luck with that, I guess. But
Hey,
uh,
don't! I got the Duke hat on and everything. You can't diss,
I
can't diss a
mean,
Duke player.
maybe. Well, this is adding up for that. Like they have 5 centers. Like they have to get rid of some of them.
No.
So I think that the Kings are still one of the top sellers in the NBA, and it's very close to getting to that amount of time where we're going to start seeing that.
Yeah, should be very interesting. You're right. It's coming right up. I think the trade deadline's maybe sometime in February. I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to the trade deadline. So whenever that does come, it will be interesting to see what this Kings team is able to cook up on the trading front. All right, Klay Thompson possibly returning this Sunday just to make the Warriors more stacked. I mean, how scary is this team if Klay Thompson is a back at 100%?
It's terrifying for the rest of the league, and also
Yeah.
I think it's specifically geared towards the Warriors at home, hosting the Cleveland Cavs of all teams at night. So a little bit of a. I know obviously LeBron's not there anymore. Most of the people on that team, I think everybody's gone from that team now, but
Yeah.
it's still. I mean, they
Hey, not
have to
Kevin
have
Love.
just made that. Yeah, that's true. Kevin Love's there. Yeah, they did that specifically on Sunday night for him to come back. He'll play like 10 minutes, and then we'll see how it goes. He should be fully conditioned if he continues and does everything right, probably by the end of February.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely it'll be interesting to see what Clay Thompson can do for that team. And like you said, it's just a very scary team for the rest of the league. Iconics with the clutch save here. The 2022 trade deadline is February 10th at 3 p.m. So we're just
Mm,
about a month out from the trade deadline. Things are going to start cooking up here, and you're going to start hearing more rumors around the rumor mill.
sounds about right. All
Yeah.
right.
For sure. All right. Joe Ingles stops on the COVID list as Utah's Jazz first positive test. They're the last team in the NBA to have their first positive test. That's kind of incredible from this Utah Jazz team. The fact that this is the first test that they've had positive, or the first guy that they've had get COVID. What are your thoughts here?
I didn't think it was real, but ESPN said it, so I'm going off of what they say here.
There you go.
So it's Not on us. I thought that Rudy Gay had COVID, so I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm wrong there, or Son Whiteside, maybe the both of them did. But ESPN said it, so that means it's correct.
I mean,
Um,
Gobert had it at one point. He had it when when the whole thing started, right?
oh, I think they meant this year, but yeah.
Yeah, but I assume this year, but like Rudy Gobert has had it. It's just forever ago, essentially, almost 3 years ago now, which is kind of insane to think about. Um, all right, anything else you want to talk about for the NBA? If not, the show's going by fast, but we have two more segments to get done.
No, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about good vibes. Let's talk about college basketball and where we are at there. Baylor and Duke sit atop the college basketball rankings. Only one loss separates the two. We've seen both of these teams be pretty good, and now you're starting conference play, which should be really exciting to see this Duke team face off against some interconference ACC teams.
Yeah, we haven't covered college basketball in a while because, frankly, there's nothing much to talk about unless some upsets or something happen. Still dealing with COVID. They're still postponing some games. I don't know if they'll even make some of those up just because not all of them were conference related. So I guess we'll be interested to see what happens with that because that could really affect some teams' seeding or just affect some people or some teams' actual eligibility to even enter the tournament in the first place. So uh, not surprising that Baylor is on top. They're one of the only undefeated teams left in the top 25, with USC being the other. Um, but yeah, we're starting to get into college or to actual conference play now, and you'll start to see some more things happen. I don't know. Out of the top five, I still think Gonzaga has as much of a right to be up there as anybody. Don't sleep on Purdue either, and obviously, I think Duke will be just fine.
Yeah, Duke. Duke definitely should be in a good spot. Gonzaga, pretty dangerous team this year, and then obviously Purdue seems like they've been dangerous for the last few years. So lots of great teams in this top five. I don't think there's one runaway team, even though technically Baylor leads this group. It should be interesting to see what happens with college basketball. I'm curious, did they cancel the first UNC Duke game? Because I'm looking at the schedule and there's only one Duke at UNC game. Shouldn't there
I'm
be
not
two?
sure.
I don't know.
Usually they have one early on.
Yeah, usually they do, and I don't think they did. So I don't know. At least maybe that was one of those canceled games. Who knows? All right. What else is going on in college basketball? LSU covers a 2-point spread in heroic fashion. I'm gonna have to look this up because I haven't been watching enough college basketball. But do you know what happened here?
Yeah, FanDuel Sportsbook actually tweeted this out, so you can look up a couple of rows and you can see that I posted that there.
Oh, okay.
Basically, they were a favorite at home, 2-point favorite, but Kentucky, obviously, the higher seeded team here. Kind of a weird spot because I don't know. I just like to include some of these. Like today, if you were to bet on Kentucky, that would have been considered a bad beat, but LSU gets the dub here for the spread. Um, I like the college basketball spreads and bad beats are something we're gonna have to do at least like once a week because there seems to always be some drama here. And while it's like I think it's an easier sport to handicap, but you could also get really, really tilted fast.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of easy spots here and there with college basketball, but there's also a lot of these, right? A lot of these situations where one team probably should have covered and then things go a little hectic and you see LSU winning by 5 here. Yeah, that's a pretty incredible way to cover and you can it almost seems like some of those LSU players have a little bit of money on themselves.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh, Bet Online right now has these five teams up at the top for the NCAA tournament odds. So it's not Baylor or Duke at number one.
Oh.
It's Gonzaga plus 750 to win the tournament. Baylor getting plus 800, Duke at plus 950, and then Kansas and Purdue both sit at plus 1200.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. Gonzaga's really good, man. You're gonna it's gonna be hard to beat them come March Madness time. So Gonzaga probably the rightful favorite. Sad to see my Duke boys at plus 950, but I think honestly all five of those teams you just mentioned have at least somewhat of a chance this year.
Yeah, now I know I hate to be um, that guy, but do you think that Jalen Suggs could should have stayed longer?
Probably. He doesn't really seem.
I
I
know
mean,
he's
like,
injured right now, so it's not fair,
yeah,
but
he wasn't
should he
playing
have stayed
very
longer?
well when he was healthy though. So like, I don't know. I think that you could probably make the case that he should have stayed longer. Um, he's clearly not at the level like the Magic lose out when they take him. Where'd they take him? Number four, number three.
Yeah,
Um,
top five for sure.
yeah, it just sucks when you see what Mobley's doing and what Kate Cunningham's doing and what these other rookies are doing. And Suggs wasn't even close to that when he was playing a good amount of time.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, look at their own team. Like you can see that Cole Anthony is just miles ahead of him.
Yeah. Even Franz Wagner is ahead of him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Wagner's played extremely well. He's the better first round pick out of the two of them. So, excuse me. Yeah, you could definitely make the case that Suggs should have stayed longer. And I'd be curious if Suggs stayed longer, who would that Magic team? Who would they have taken at their spot in the draft? Because they could be a completely different team right now.
It could have been, yeah. Bacon says UNC plus 5,500 hammer it.
Boo. That's a trash pick right there. All right, let's look over the top 25 for college basketball, and then we can talk about some NHL blind dogs. Things are going quickly this morning because, like you said, there's not much to talk about. But looking over this top 25 for college basketball, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, 25 for college basketball. I'm surprised that I even have teams to root for in my home state that are up here. I guess, I mean, Wisconsin apparently had some good vibes coming into this season. Um, I was hoping Marquette would do a little bit better, but they lost Marcus Howard, so that's pretty much their team in a nutshell. I don't know. I mean, I don't really pay attention to any of this until mid-February because I actually want to see what these teams are doing against conferences. Like we know who the top 10 teams are in the league. Like we
Yeah.
we kind of just know just from talent alone. And kind of, you can kind of see the writing on the wall with some of these teams from the previous season upward. Now there are teams to watch. Those teams are, I think, Houston's a team to watch. I think that Auburn's a team to watch, and who else? Both Texas and Alabama are teams I'm keeping my eye on. I think they're also very, very solid. Texas mainly, like we haven't heard of Texas in a while. Like I know they made that run a little while, a couple of seasons ago, but they used to be more of a powerhouse, and now they've kind of dipped out. So I don't know. Any team that stands out to you really that you don't normally recognize? I guess USC would be one of them.
I think Colorado State is one of them, right? At 20th here. Only reason they're here is because they're undefeated.
Yeah,
But 11-0. I think not used to seeing Colorado State in these rankings, and they're in there and they're doing the thing, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see where they end up at the end of the year if they can keep up the undefeated vibes.
we'll see.
Yeah,
I feel like, I mean, you look at their competition, I don't think we're going to look at any notable names here. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm
you
looking
know,
right now.
Boise
No.
State, Utah State, San Jose
Yeah.
State, New Mexico, Air Force, Nevada, UNLV, Wyoming, San Diego State, Fresno State.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
San Diego State's not a powerhouse anymore. They
no,
they
they're
were
not.
for a little bit.
No, they're not. Sadly, definitely will be interesting to see what happens with that Colorado State team. But outside of that, I mean, I'm not really. These are like the usual names that you'd see in the top 25 for basketball, right?
Yeah. Not too
Yeah,
much going on here, but
no.
we'll have some stuff planned. But yeah, the season's about to start ramping up for sure. Again, I don't like you can take advantage of bets early on in the season if you know if you do your scouting and you know the environment some of these teams are building. But when it comes to like conference plays is when things start actually getting interesting.
I saw a TikTok, betting TikTok about college basketball, and it was like if you bet a home team and they're ranked, and another team and the other team is not ranked, and they are 27.5 point favorites or under that. Anything under that. It's like it's a play that it's a system play that hits like 70% of the time. And I
Uh,
guess that's not all that surprising, but I think that changes when it comes to conference play.
she said a favorite at home that's ranked, like
Playing an unranked
Duke
team.
Duke at home playing an unranked team that's less than 27 favorites.
Yeah, like less than 27.5 point favorites.
Okay,
And yeah,
that
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
It,
Yeah,
it makes
I mean,
sense, right? But it's
yeah,
I don't know.
we
Things
see
could change.
spreads. Yeah, we see spreads that are like 30s all the time.
Yeah,
So
especially for these upper teams. So, and I mean, it makes sense when you have Duke facing off against some of the competition that they've faced off against over the past few games. I mean, playing Elon, playing App State, playing South Carolina State, you see these big favorites. But I don't know, man. It's definitely a little interesting betting tidbit there. Speaking of betting tidbit, is there anything else you want to talk about here? If not, we get to talk about how we're NHL betting legends, essentially.
yeah, let's do it. It's my favorite, becoming my favorite segment of the day.
Yeah, same here. It's always a good time to talk about the NHL and talk about why we are so good at it. Specifically, you, because you're 2-0 now. We saw you get a win yesterday with who'd you bet on? You bet on Nashville. You bet on my Predators, and I bet on Chicago. They went into OT and they lost in OT, so we're okay with that. I said you could take the goal line if you wanted to, and if you took the goal line, you were set with Chicago. But if you were taking the money line like I was, it was plus 200. So if we go to OT with the plus 200, feel like that's pretty close.
I mean, I'm surprised that you even had a close game in general. So shout out to you.
Heck yeah.
Like I was like, wow, you're betting on a plus 200 dog in hockey. That's tough, man.
Hey,
But yeah, you're
what
right. I mean, you were close. By the way, the goal that you lost on was incredible. I don't know if you watched that or not,
I
but
did
it
not.
was amazing.
I'm gonna have to definitely go look at it after we get off the show. Actually, I will try to look for it while you talk about what your NHL bet is going to be for today.
Yeah. Okay. So I had to do some additional extra research here because
Oh,
at the
come on.
moment, no, I mean like there's a reason behind what I'm saying here.
Okay, I was about to say doing research on this is forbidden.
Um,
There's a reason why it's called blind dogs.
no, I just had to look. This is more because of the blind dog segment in the first place. Bet Online has January 6th, so Thursday, as the two games for today, and I didn't even know if we had any games to bet on. So I went to go look to see if there are actually games today, which there are. The time is just way, way off on Bet Online's site right now. So there are two games to bet on today. Oilers and Blues are the only underdogs. I'm I can't in good conscience take the Oilers here. So I think both of us are probably going to have to back the Blues at plus 119.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna jump on your bandwagon because you're 2-0 now. I think you move it to 3-0. Yeah, we'll take the St. Louis Blues at plus 119, money line wise. I think that's pretty solid. I'm
Yeah,
trying to find
looking to
this
go
goal.
3-0. Yeah, I had to double check that there were actually NHL games today. So if you guys didn't think we were actually joking, we're not. We don't know anything.
We really don't know what's happening in the NHL. I want to see this goal, man. They're playing it in slow motion right now. Oh yeah. Okay. That's a pretty sick goal right there. I would encourage you to all go look at the goal that we lost on from the Avalanche getting that goal there. That was a really
Yeah,
really good shot. So it is what it is, you know. We move on to today and hopefully we get this win with the St. Louis Blues getting a big win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm sure that Anthony isn't too happy about us betting against the Penguins, but I guess that'll be all right.
right, exactly. I just also want to preface this by saying our underdog NHL blind bets are not financial advice.
Yeah, there you go. Not financial advice. All right. Is there anything else that you want to do for underdog mentality? We can look at basketball, but basketball just seems like something that you really shouldn't be betting on right now. So, anything else that you want to talk about here?
No, we can just shoot the shit for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Like I
because
I have already said that I don't want to bet NBA dogs because it's not worth it right now. And
yeah,
look, if you would have done that, you probably would have lost 2 days in a row, and you wouldn't be up 2 units on NHL. So there you go.
There you go. 100% for sure right there. Um, yeah,
I will take
this,
one team. I still don't feel good about it, but the Milwaukee Bucks are going through major COVID stuff at the moment, and I think that the Raptors coming back fully healthy could take a game at home in Milwaukee. So
yeah,
I'll well, I won't say they'll win. I'll say they'll cover +8.
there you go. I like that. Give me, man, I don't want to take anything here. If I was going to take one team, it would be the Denver Nuggets at plus 143. Just because if the Utah Jazz had Joe Winkle be positive, there's more than likely more positive tests coming later today. And if that team loses a Mike Conley, a Donovan Mitchell, a Rudy Gobert, I could see the Nuggets end up winning. So get them as a dog while you still can, because if you see more guys ruled out, then it definitely will be a good spot for Jokic in that Nuggets team.
Yeah, I can get behind that too.
Oh,
Again, nothing really stands out too much though.
no, not at all. We forgot to talk about this. We were a little bit late today, so we didn't get this news on the air. And I think this is going to be our first day without news on the air, but we can still talk about this. Joe Mixon being out due to COVID. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, he's out for Sunday, which is huge for that team. They should be fine because Baker Mayfield is already ruled out too. He had season-ending surgery, so they're going to have to start a backup quarterback. Maybe they even just go for the third string all the way and just say, "Hey, here you go. Our season's over." Um, the Bengals need this win,
Yeah,
and I know that they're already AFC North champs, but they need it for seeding. And like, sure, AFC North is cool. It probably was always in their goal anyway. Like, I mean, I don't know. As a Bengals fan, you should be happy where you're at right now. But if you want any chance of doing something, you need to actually win this game on Sunday because the Chiefs more than likely will win on Saturday. And if they somehow don't, I'd be shocked, but it would definitely open some things up for Cincinnati. I think they're like what? I think that the highest they can get is a 2 seed, right? Or I feel like it would be a stretch to get any higher than that.
couldn't if the Chiefs lose in the tight. I mean, I'm just curious tiebreaker wise, like who holds tiebreakers here? Because if the Chiefs lose and the Titans lose and the Bengals win, then that leaves them at 11-6, right? Yeah, and that puts them tied for first. I don't know what tiebreakers look like in the AFC, but maybe they could get up to that one spot. It seems pretty impossible though with the Titans playing
Yeah,
Houston.
right. Titans, Houston, Chiefs, Broncos.
Mm,
I mean, the Bengals should win. They should
yeah,
win. Joe Mixon, I think the main thing for me is that is he going to be okay health wise to play next for the wild card game because that's huge. Like if he,
yep,
I don't know what his vaccination status is. Um, since it's Wednesday, he's automatically ruled out given the 5 day period. But yeah, I mean, if he's even hindered a little bit, like we've seen in the last 2 weeks now, what happens to Tyreek Hill, and like I guess it just depends on what the symptoms are.
yeah. Um, Man, that'd be bad news for the Bengals if they kept this three spot. That puts them up against the Colts. I mean, that's obviously
It's a
depending
tough
on where
matchup right
thing.
out the gate. Yeah,
That is a very tough wild card matchup. Obviously, some things could change here with seeding and everything, but if everything stays the same and they get the Colts, I don't even know if I feel good about them winning that game. I don't know what the
I
spread would even
don't
be.
know who would. Yeah, I don't know who would. It would be within 2 points.
Yeah. Look at that. Mickey's dad asking if you missed the NHL dogs yet. Yeah, you did miss NHL dogs. But we took. That's bad that I can't remember the team that we took. That should tell you just how blind these dog bets are. We took the St. Louis Blues plus 119 as they face off against the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Not many games to choose from, but we decided to go with the St. Louis Blues. All right, Jared, we have hit the hour mark. We've been on for an hour. Any final thoughts here before we get off the air?
Not too much. Slow Wednesday. Should be hearing a lot of NFL related news uh, soon, and then I'll be joining running solo for the Bet Online Week 18 preview. Got 2 games on Saturday, and we have a bunch of games on Sunday. So, including an awesome Sunday night game. I'm glad that they I don't know if they flexed that one late or whatever they did, but Raiders Chargers is a great way to end the season, especially
Oh,
if it's basically down to like whatever team wins gets in. I saw something and I think it's still accurate. I don't remember what it would take to get this far. But I'm pretty sure that if something happens and the Sunday night football game ties, then both of those two teams are in.
yeah, for sure. What are you gonna do on Thursdays when NFL is done? That's my question here. Are we just
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
to scrap the Thursday show, or are you gonna find something else?
Play video games.
Hey, I will come on the Thursday show if we decide to play video games instead of doing the streams on Thursdays. I'll join you for that one because that'll be a lot of fun. But let's get out of here. It was a really good show. Thank you all for hanging out. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being active in the chat. And remember, if you're not signed up at Bet Online, what are you doing? Go to the site. You can use that link that is put in the chat by our Nightbot, and you can sign up with them. If you sign up at $55 or more, you get a little bonus added on. So sign up, deposit, bet on our NHL dogs because you'd be up right now and you'd be feeling pretty damn good about it if you were betting on NHL blind dogs with us. But until next time, I am back on Friday. You're back tomorrow. It'll be a good show for sure. But as always, my name is Joshua Reimer. Good morning and good skill.